It's time to get to work with the 10 best job simulation games on PC. Let's face it, you work hard all day. Whether you're on your feet or sitting at a desk, you spend a lot of your time doing one task in exchange for money. It's what makes the world go round after all. Games are meant to be an escape from that, a welcome break in a world of tedium. But sometimes, and more often than you think, you want to work all night too. We've done a whole video on the psychological reasons behind loading up job simulations, but here are our favourites. Not where you're a sky god on management duties, but literally the games where you're hands-on with an actual job, preparing for the consequences when you accidentally crash your lorry on your journey across Europe. Or perhaps just when you spilled a bucket of blood that you've been systematically wiping up a massacre with. Here are the 10 best job simulation games you can play on PC right now.
Hey, that almost hurt.
This shouldn't be fun. It just shouldn't. House Flipper is basically Sunday DIY Simulator 2018. As a professional cleaner, fixer and doer of all useful things, you get emails from people who want you to sort out their lives. That means picking up old tyres from messy garages, scrubbing suspicious stains from floors, and even painting the nursery a beautiful shade of pastel pink before popping in a crib for the little one. So far, so dull, right? And yet, flicking from tool to tool and upgrading your skills on your trusty tablet is somehow deeply satisfying. Watching the dirt disappear is cleaning advert levels of triumphant. You could be sitting in your very real messy room, and yet you'll gaze happily at the perfection you've created in the pixelated home of an NPC you'll never even get a chance to meet. Add and install a radiator? Sure. Buy a whole new set of furniture? Absolutely. Do it in real life? Maybe next weekend. Let's face it, you've always wanted to drive a train. There's something so satisfying about those giant overgrown toy sets running to time and hurtling across the world. Being in control of one of those is surely every child's dream. Well, it turns out that now you're grown up, it's still as attractive, and even if you didn't think that you were part of the target audience for Train Sim World, it turns out that there's nothing more joyous than loading up a trip across the UK, making sure your passengers are always on time, and just taking in the lovely scenery as you cross the country. Whether you're jumping into your very real commute in actual real time or heading to pastures new, there's something innately satisfying about learning the ropes, finding out where that all-important brake is, and slowly gliding into perfect position at the station. It's almost like you've been training for this your whole life. It's on every simulation list of all time, yes, ours included, and that's for very good reason. Euro Truck Simulator 2 just happens to be a phenomenal game about driving enormous articulated lorries across entire countries in real time. You might start off small, taking jobs where you can, but before long you're driving enormous trucks from city to city and taking in the glorious views. And, unlike other games where you'll happily smash up cars on your way from A to B, the fact that there's a repair bill to foot if you topple or jackknife your truck means you'll be extra careful on those endless motorways and winding roads. There's something infinitely relaxing about taking to the highways, absorbing the scenery, and getting the job done. And yes, in true simulation game paradox, you'll probably still order your pizza delivered via an app. Because who has time to do that when there's trucks to drive? So this is the only VR exclusive title on this list, but 1, it's the name of the actual video, and 2, Job Simulator is a lot of very, very stupid fun. It's magically the year 2050, and all human endeavours have been replaced with far superior AI employees, so of course it's time to go back in time and experience what it was like to truly job. This means finding out what it was like to work in an office, manning a convenience store, complete with making hot dogs that will definitely give someone an unpleasant experience at some point later that day, cooking for hungry robots, and even working for a mechanic. You know, all the fun things. Developer Alchemy Labs knows exactly what makes you tick when it comes to VR, and there's nothing quite as satisfying as switching out car hood ornaments or happily cooking up a storm in the kitchen. Everything is touchable, and the sense of humour so ridiculously infectious that you'll be laughing all the way to the bank. Except you're not, because you're not actually being paid for all of this hard work.
Come on.
It's okay, you don't need to hide it anymore. You love Farming Simulator, and that's alright. You love tilling the fields, organising the animals, growing all that lovely corn, and then happily harvesting it. There's an order to Farming Simulator. Like the pixelated version of the best spreadsheet you've ever made, tending to your farm is like crossing the T's and dotting the I's on a grand scale. Everything has a purpose, everything a set place. Your fields are yours alone. And if those fields give you feels, that's okay with us. Oh, and if all the delights of Farming Sim 17 aren't enough, this year's addition to the lineup, yes, that's the imaginatively titled Farming Simulator 19, adds horses for you to ride around on your farm. Saddle up, partner, it's time to be zen on horseback. Who needs Red Dead Redemption for PC anyway? Being a surgeon already sounds like a nightmare. Squeamish or not, the idea of having someone's life literally in your hands is a stress that most of us can do without. Surgeon Simulator, then, is bad enough before you try its controls for size. Then you realise that steering a complete stranger's fingers individually while trying to perform complex life-risking procedures is, well, nigh on impossible. Why is it on this list then? Well, because finally managing to shatter someone's ribcage is a triumph that few people should do without, and getting to grips with the right lung is equally roar-worthy. Then there's the alien levels, the VR, the Team Fortress elements, and even a whole toothy area that the monsters among you who wanted to study dentistry can bask in seas of molars. Just don't accidentally inject yourself with the green stuff. No, I said don't. Oh well, maybe it'll help. Are you a good person? Really? This list means that you can be a good farmer, a good convenience store employee, or even a good cleaner. But Papers, Please wants to know if what's inside that brain of yours is actually worth anything when it comes to morals. Left in charge of the border of the fictional state of Artsotska, you are tasked with immigration control. Who goes in, who goes out, is all you. But this is meant to hurt. How are you meant to just think about stamping paperwork when there's human lives at stake and a job to keep? Sure, it would be nice to let everyone in, but you'll be fined if people don't have the right documentation, and your salary goes to keeping your own family happy. Won't you think of the children? Of all the entries on this list, Papers, Please is the most challenging of your mind state. It's not here to relax you, but it really isn't meant to. Just don't expect to stop thinking about it once you've turned your PC off. No one ever thinks of the cleaners in games. No one ever thinks of the gory mess left behind after a first-person shooter, the rooms of bodies, litres of blood spilled, and bullet casings scattered to the wind. Well, now you do. Viscera cleanup detail is exactly what happens when you follow the chaos armed with a mop and bucket. You never see any of what happened here, only the complete and utter carnage that you need to make sparkly clean again, and oh boy, is it satisfying. Not only do you need to mop up the blood, you'll need to burn the bodies and try not to get more viscera all over your nice clean floors in the process. Body bits need put in bins, bullets need individually picked up off the floor and deposited in suitable receptacles, and you'll also have to do the very realistic task of changing your water when it gets too gory to actually clean anything. And yes, if you spill that, then you'll get blood everywhere again, and of course you'll leave footprints if you accidentally step in some goop. This is the brilliantly gory chore sim you just didn't know you needed. You'd think the fun of building a PC would be the very real connecting of wires, the physicality of hewing computational life from mere cables, pieces of plastic and fans. But no, PC Building Simulator is here to teach you just how good the whole experience is, even when you don't have to put on one of those anti-static wristbands and try not to get too covered in thermal paste. While you can of course go off thermal paste and just build yourself the ultimate fictional PC with all kinds of official parts, the real fun is making your way through the campaign as a humble PC repairman, lugging PCs back and forth from its hallway and running antivirus software. Yes, it's another pixelated job, but there's something so joyous about the fastening of wires, cleaning of viruses, and fixing the world's technology problems one hard drive at a time. We'll try and make it sound worthwhile by saying you'd be able to build your own in no time, but we all know that you haven't even cleared as much as your cache in about 3 years. We definitely all stopped watching Big Brother a long time ago on TV, but that only means we're hungry for more innovative, smarter pieces of work inspired by 1984. Sorry, reality TV, you just don't do it for us, but Orwell Keeping an Eye on You absolutely does. It's not a long experience, but that doesn't mean that this glimpse into surveillance culture won't get you right in the optic nerve. The whole game is set within the Orwell OS, where as an operative, i.e. the hired Big Brother, you must investigate the social media accounts of those suspected of terrorist attacks. And of course, nothing here is black or white. Everything you find in keeping an eye on you has consequences, and it turns out that stalking everyone as Big Brother really doesn't sit well with a solid moral compass. Plus, if you really enjoy the experience, there's a follow-up in the shape of Ignorance is Strength. Now, would you kindly follow me to Room 101? So there they are, the 10 best job simulation games that don't feel like work. Let us know if we've missed your favourite menial task in the comments below, drop us a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe to Logitech G for more videos just like this one. If you're already subscribed, don't forget to hit that notification bell to make sure you know when the latest video drops. And for more best PC games, check out the playlist link on the screen right now.